What's up, guys? Welcome to my replay viewers. Thank you guys so much for jumping in, checking out my broadcast. Sorry I missed you live, but so glad you guys took some time to check it out. What is up to my live crew this morning? Great to see you all this morning, and so glad to have you here. I appreciate y'all coming in to hang out with me on this Wednesday morning. Good morning to you, Brian. What's up, brother? Tracy, good morning to you. Alex, what's going on? Tasha, cheers to you. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming in and hang out with me this morning. Y'all are amazing. I'm excited to share some good, fun, meaty content with you over the next 3 days. I'm going to do a 3-part series this week. I've been wanting to do this one for a while. This seemed like a good week to do it. We're going to do a 3-part series, and we're going to be talking about are you giving your business a chance to succeed? I'm going to tackle this topic from 3 different perspectives. Today, we're going to talk about the tools of your business. We're going to talk about 10 fundamental tools that every business owner must absolutely have in their tool belt. Doesn't matter what business you're in, what industry you're in. I believe in today's day and age, there are absolutely 10 fundamental tools that you have got to have in your tool belt. And if you're missing any of these, it is going to be a challenge and it's going to be a problem for you, and that's going to hold you back. So today we're going to talk about those 10 fundamental tools. What are those 10 fundamental tools for your trade? And then tomorrow we're going to talk a bit about your mindset. Friday, we're going to talk a bit about your process. So I'm going to do a 3-part series. I'm going to help you get real this morning and over the next 3 days, and we're going to find out if you are really truly giving your business a chance to succeed. John, what's up, brother? Thanks for coming in. Jalil, good morning to you. Kim, good morning to you. Kat, good morning to you. Jackie, what's up, girl? Thanks for coming in. Appreciate all y'all. Cheers and good morning. I hope your morning beverage is delicious. I hope you're ready to go this morning. Let's dive right in. I'm going to get right to it. Hang tight. I'll be right back with you. All right, guys, that is who I am. That is what I do. Justin Kaplan Pro is my name. JustinKaplanPro.com is my website. I'm a startup business mentor and a branding strategist that specializes in helping startup entrepreneurs just like you turn your passion, your gifting, your ideas into a profitable and scalable brand, leveraging the power of social media marketing. If you are new to me, welcome. No matter what channel you're watching on, if you're watching live or if you're watching on the replay, I'm so glad you're here. If you want to give me a hashtag first time in the chat stream, let me know if it's your first time ever hooking up with me. I would love to know that you were here, and my crew would love to make you feel welcome. So let me know if it's the first time ever joining in, and we are going to dive right into it today, guys. So again, today we're talking about the first part of my series, how are you giving your business a chance to succeed? Today I want to talk about 10 fundamental tools of your trade, no matter what business you're in, no matter what kind of business owner you are. I believe there are 10 fundamental tools that you must absolutely have in your tool belt this morning. I'm going to start you out with a quote, and I was wrestling between 2 different quotes, so I decided to give you both of them. So I'm going to give you 2 quotes this morning. The first quote that I'm going to give you this morning is by Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin said, you know who that is, right? Benjamin Franklin? Benjamin Franklin says the best investments made are the ones in the tools. I'm sorry. The best investments made are in the tools of one's own trade. That's from the man Benjamin Franklin. And then Stephen Covey, I love this quote. Stephen Covey says, technology and tools are powerfully useful, but only when they are your servant and not your master. Isn't that a good one? I'm going to say that one again. That's Stephen Covey. He's brilliant, isn't he? Technology and tools are powerfully useful, but only when they are your servant and not your master. How many of y'all have felt like some of your technology sometimes is your master? Like, how many of y'all have had laptop problems and phone problems and technology problems? Right? Anybody out there? Tasha, did you figure out that hard drive thing yet? Like, how many of y'all have gone through the technology stuff where you're trying to run your business and the technology that you're working with is just not working for you? Right. That's when your technology that you have has become your master. So technology and tools are powerfully useful, but only when they are your servant and not your master. So I'm gonna go through a variety of things, 10 things this morning. And my mission is to challenge you to ask yourself, do I have, Amber, good morning to you, do I have all of these things in place and working for me? Are they working for me or am I working for them? All right. I'm going to take a drink of my coffee because I just work better on coffee. All right. Cheers, y'all. Cheers and good morning. Everybody give me good morning in the chat stream. Will you please? I want to make sure I haven't missed nobody. I want to see all your faces. And let's do it. So the first one I'm going to give you real simple. Let's talk about that phone that you have. All right. Your phone. Number one, in my opinion, I believe that your phone is the absolute number one tool of your trade in today's marketplace. Do you guys agree with that? I don't think it matters what you do. I don't think it matters who you are, what kind of business you're running. I think that phone is the number one tool of your trade. Now, this is what I want to poke on you a little bit. Is I want to ask you, I imagine every one of us have a phone in our hand, right? All right, so most of us are probably sitting here watching me on your phone right now. But my challenge for you is, does that phone need an upgrade? Now, Justin, I've got only 27 more months until I'm eligible for my upgrade, and I'm going to be able to get a free upgrade at that point. Listen to me. Is that phone working for you, or are you working for that phone? Alexa's great morning to you. Thanks for coming in. My only challenge I'm going to give you today is does your phone do everything that you need it to do? The reason why I really am poking on this because I was having a conversation with a new client that I just acquired it's been 3 weeks ago now. And we were talking about getting them going and what they're doing. And they want to be a motivational speaker. And we're building them the website and all the things. And I was sharing a few things with them and challenging them. And we got talking about their phone. And they said, well, Justin, I'm still using an iPhone 6. I said, you're still using a what? That thing's got chiclets for buttons on it. Does that thing even access Facebook? You're using an iPhone 6? I mean, bro, upgrade your phone. He's like, man, well, it works. It still calls and texts. I'm like, no, man, there's so many things that this world can do for you mobily and through technology and through apps that phone won't do. Upgrade your phone. Y'all, listen, it's an investment. I get it. It's not cheap. And I got people, Justin, man, but that thing is so expensive. You have no idea. I do have every idea. Jamie, good morning to you. I get it. It's expensive. I get it that a new iPhone comes out like every year. Now, this is the thing. So I have an iPhone 11. All right. I do not go out and upgrade to a new iPhone every single time the new iPhone comes out. I'm an iPhone guy. All right, let's just get this right out of the way. Who's iPhone? Who's Android? And who thinks they're better? I'm iPhone 11 Max. I like the big one. And I think I'm better. All right. So are you Android or are you iPhone? I like iPhone products. I like Apple products. All right. But I don't go out. I'm not going to tell you that I feel like you have to upgrade your phone every single time a brand new phone comes out. All right. But what I am always doing is every time a new model comes out, I'm always asking myself, all right, what can that phone do for me that my current phone can't? All right. So when the iPhone 12 came out, I researched it. And for me, there wasn't enough of a shift where I'm like, yeah, I feel like I can do everything I need with this phone. So I went from, if I recall, the last two phones. I think I had a 7, and then I went to an 8. I had like an 8 Plus, I believe. And then I stayed with that 8 Plus for several years, and I jumped from 8 to 11. I didn't upgrade to 11 until I think about a year ago. And the main thing was the camera. The camera's crazy, man. I mean, the photography that I can take, and I take a lot of pictures in my business. So the photography was great, but there's things about speed and the ability, the live stream and the processor and all the stuff. All I'm going to tell you is that whatever you're doing, just make sure you've got a phone that works for you. And for those guys that I'm rattling you a little bit, and you're like, well, I still got this Fossil that still does dial up. You got to get a phone. You've got to. I believe it's the number one tool of your trade. All right. The second thing we're talking about is your laptop. I think if you're going to be a business owner, you got to have a laptop, not just a tablet. Well, Justin, I got a phone and I got an iPad. You need a laptop. Y'all agree with that? I think you've got to, because there's so many things that you have got to be able to do in your business that a tablet can't do. You've got to have a laptop, and you got to have a laptop that works for you. And I got people telling me, well, I got a laptop. It was handed down to me 20 years ago, and it barely opens and takes 20 minutes to load up, but it works. No. Like the question is, how much lost productivity do you have and time and frustration trying to wrestle with an old machine? It's absolutely a justifiable business expense. You've got to have a laptop. On all of these things that I'm sharing with you are all business expenses, and they're all write-offs. You've got to have it. All right. Listen, when I first started my business, I didn't have squat for cash. So I knew I needed something that I can work with. And so I bought a Microsoft Surface. It wasn't even Surface Pro. It was the original. That thing had a 7-inch screen on it. It was like this. It's like wasn't even as big as an iPad. All right. And you could plug a little keyboard thing into it. Listen to me. I had that 7-inch thing. I got that. It was refurbished. I got it for $300. It worked fine. Like it worked fine, but it was 7 inches, y'all. I'm a graphic designer, right? So I would sit here on my, you set a 7-inch laptop on your desk, and I'm like this all day, and I'm like trying to like look at, I'm talking about, I think I would get done working at the end of the day, and I would be walking around with my family like this, and they'd be like, "What's up with you?" And I'm like, "I have been staring at a 7-inch screen all day." I'm like, so I upgraded when I was able to, but I started with that 7-inch screen, and I'm like, I knew I had to have a machine, but that's the only machine that I could afford. And then I knew I cannot operate off this friggin' 7-inch screen, but I didn't have the money to go out and buy a new laptop right then. So what I did is I went and bought a new monitor. Actually, it was a used monitor, but it was a bigger monitor. It was a 32-inch used gaming monitor. And then I could plug that in to my 7-inch screen, set my 7-inch screen off the top, and actually look at a real monitor. I'm like, whoa, this is life-changing, right? And so I used that for a while until then this is what happened is my 7-inch my 7-inch Microsoft Pro crashed in my second year in business. Now listen to this. Let me just poke on you for a minute because I'm going to kind of touch on one of my future ones. That 7-inch thing friggin' crashed, and I didn't have a backup system. And I lost 2 years of client data when that thing crashed because I didn't have a backup system. We're going to talk about backup system in a minute. But I'm going to talk to you about it with that laptop. Some of y'all are like, Justin, I'm good. I got a laptop. That's awesome. Just it's something like I've upgraded since I upgraded to my first brand new laptop. I've upgraded 3 times since, and it's about speed, processor, because like how many of y'all have had laptops before? Like let's just be real for a second. How many of y'all have had the laptops before where that thing runs, but like when you load it up and fire it up, it takes like 20 minutes to get going. And then like the programs randomly shut down on you and it's constantly crashing, or it's got viruses on it, or you've got whatever, you've got all these things that are just going on with this thing. Either take that thing into Best Buy, take it to the Geek Squad and get it overhauled, or upgrade to a new laptop. That is an absolutely justifiable, not only justifiable, but absolutely necessary business expense. You've got to have a good quality laptop that works for you. Again, technology and tools are powerfully useful, but only when they are your servant and not your master. There's so much lost productivity and frustration and aggravation. Like how many of y'all have had a laptop before where you're working on a laptop and it crashes mid-work and you lose your work? No way. Jamie says, I've been talking to Ken about getting a 32-inch TV for additional monitor from a Mac and need more than one screen. Do it, girl. Listen, I've upgraded. Now I've got what is this thing? I think this is like a 30. This is a 32, I believe, that I'm looking at right now. I bought a 32-inch curved gaming monitor, high definition. This thing is nuts. It's crazy. I can sit back. Like if I'm designing a website, I'm probably 30 inches, maybe 3 feet from my monitor right now. I can sit here in my chair with my mouse and comfortably design a logo or a website like a boss on this thing, man. And it doesn't strain my eyes. And it's like, yeah. So what I do is I have this great big monitor, and then I set my laptop off to the side. So I got this thing. Hold on, I better not do that. I'll get myself in trouble. Here, I can show you. Maybe I can show you. Here you go. So I've got my laptop off to my side, which I put on a little stand to raise it up. So if I do happen to want to just work from my laptop, I get that laptop up at eye level. And then I've got this, great big gaming monitor. Thanks, boss. Woo, boss. My son's jealous because he plays on his little games and his little hand-me-down monitor. He has the first monitor that I ever bought. He's like, Dad, can I use your monitor? I'm like, you're so funny. You're so funny. I love you, but you are so funny. You got your jokes from me. No, you can't have my monitor. So anyway, laptop. All right, let's talk about workspace. Number 3. Justin, I thought we were talking about tools of the trade. We are talking about tools of the trade. Number 3 today. We've talked about phone is number 1, laptops number 2, workspace is number 3. You have got to have a workspace that is yours. Your space. That is a tool. Listen, I don't know of any successful CEO of any successful company that does not have an office to work in. You have got to have a place to work, y'all. This is a necessity. This is not something that it's not something that you grow into. You will grow into your office, but you've got to start somewhere. When I first started my business, and listen, everything that I'm telling you this morning is because I went through it. And nobody told me this stuff when I first started my business. And so I kind of had to learn this the hard way. When I first started my business, I'm like, I'm working from home. This is awesome. I'm just going to hang out on my dining room table right here in the middle of my house. It's going to be amazing. I can just sit here and enjoy my family. I can see my wife. I can, see what's going on. I can look out the front window. I can pet my dog. I can do all that right from the dining room table, right? Wrong. You can't focus. No way, man. I used to freaking sit at that dining room table trying to work and trying to create content and trying to do stuff, and everything is going on around you all the time. And it's like, and then you get your setup all set up with your paperwork and all your stuff, and then all of a sudden it's time for dinner. I got to move all this, put it all away, and then I got to get it back out the next morning. No way, man. You cannot do it. So then I'm like, yes, Jamie, absolutely. Jamie, video camera. I'm going to come back to that in just a second. So then I decided, all right, I got to get off this dining room table because I can't be moving my stuff around all the time. And I got to have my space. So again, I didn't have a lot of cash. I get that, right? I didn't have a lot of cash. So I went friggin' garage sailing. I went garage sailing one weekend, and I found a desk, one big, desk that I could stick in my dining room because that's the only place that I had to work at the time. And it was a great big 5-foot desk. It had drawers. It was that to me was like, it was a dream. Wow. I'm like, this is so nice. I actually have my own space. And so I could organize it and set it up the way I wanted to. That lasted for a short period of time. But then I realized it's not a matter of just the space to put stuff. I've got to have a space that I can get away and have quiet. I needed my own space. And so that while I had that desk, it was still sitting in the dining room. So many distractions, so much lost productivity. So we had a spare bedroom in our house, and we used to use it for guests and whatever and storage and everything. I told my wife, I said, I'm remodeling that room. It's got to be my office. If I'm going to take this business seriously, again, the topic of this conversation today is, are you giving your business a chance to succeed? And I said to Courtney, I said, if I'm going to give this business a chance to survive, I have got to have an office. I've got to take this seriously enough to commit myself to to a space. She's like, okay. So I remodeled the whole office and turned it into my office. And it changed my world because it's not just a matter of the space. It's not just a matter of the space and getting away from the distractions. There's something that clicks in your mind when you commit a space in your home as your office. Y'all agree with that? How many of y'all have an actual workspace in your home? Big or small? Jamie says, my office is off the living room, but you had to walk through it to get to the bathroom and the laundry room. So thankful for your new house, right? So you've got to, oh my gosh, you've got to find a space. No matter where it is, I've got a client of mine that said, you know what, Justin, the only available space that I have is in the side of my bedroom, and then I would have to move my dresser to do that. I said, okay. I said, do you have an option for the clothes that are in that dresser? I don't know. Maybe. I said, do you have a closet? Yeah. What's a closet look like? It's a walk-in closet. I said, is there room to move the stuff from the dresser into the walk-in closet? I don't know. The closet's full. I said, when's the last time you purged your closet? I don't remember the last time. Years. All right. Let's say from a percentage standpoint of all the clothes that are in that closet, what percentage of those clothes do you actually wear? No. Why did you have to answer that question? Probably 20%. Purge your closet. Move the clothes from the dresser into the closet. Get rid of the dresser and make yourself an office. Treat it like a business. Oh, that sucks, Alexis. Alexis has a space, but the Wi-Fi doesn't reach there. So that's the thing. And the thing is, for me, like with the office, for me, what happened for me was when I actually committed the space in my home and turned that bedroom into an office, and I made it my office, and I painted the walls my colors, and that's when I first did this artwork. I actually created that artwork, and I got, I built myself a desk, and I set that stuff up. It triggered something in my mind, man. It was like when I would walk in there in the morning, it's like I flip on the switch. JC Pro's here. Let's get to work. And it so increased my focus. So increased my focus, my productivity, the amount of work I was able to build out. It also increased just my confidence, I think. It does something to your confidence or something, that your mindset, just your mindset in general. It just really is impactful. Workspace, put it on your list. It's a tool of your trade. We can argue about it. I don't care. You got to have one. I'm a business coach. I can coach you. It's your workspace. You got to have it. Number 4 is a planner or a method of organization. Now, Justin, I know some of y'all are like, this is what I tell you. You've got to have some method of organizing all the things that you're doing. Now, I'm going to tell you that I believe no matter what type of person you are, because some of y'all are pen and paper type of people, I get that. You've got to have a digital method of organization in some way. You've got to. It's got to be digital, because I got one client in my mind. I push back. She pushes on me about this one. She's like, Justin, I know. I have to do paper and pen. I can't do my notes digitally. But then this is what happens. She's got an entire bookcase full of notebooks with notes in them. And she's got them organized by year and by month and by event and everything. But then this is the thing. She's got clients that she works with and be like, all right. Let me just prove my point. Let's pull up that. I'll give her a name. Pull up such and such a client that you've been working with for 12 months. Pull up the file that talks about where they first started. So at the end of your contract in a month from now, you can recap where they started and where you are now. You can take them through the journey. You have the notes from your first conversation. Let's recap that from a year ago. And she looks at her bookcase and she's like, I don't know. And she sat there and she started pulling out all these books and sorting through all this. I'm like, you're not going to find it. And I don't want you to find it. I'm trying to prove a point. You can't quickly access past information when it's all buried in books. I don't care how organized you are with it. You've got to have a method to file your stuff digitally, especially when it comes down to people that are paying you. But also, I have a digital filing system for every client that I have, and I'm a pen and paper kind of guy. So this is what I used to do. I used to do notebooks as well. Let me just give you a tip, all right? I used to do notebooks as well. I used to keep notebooks all the time. So basically, as I would go out throughout the day, or as I would go through my day, each client would have a page in my notebooks. And I would take all their notes, and I'd have another client call, and here I go, and I'm going to another one, and I keep all this stuff, and then I would just set my notebooks aside. And then what would happen? You coach 6 to 8 people a day for 3-4 days in a row. I can't remember who I talked to yesterday, because you so much goes through your mind. So then it's like, then somebody asked me about something, and stuff would get lost, stuff would get dropped. So what I do is, when I'm having a one-on-one with a client, I have a notebook in front of me and I take notes throughout that conversation. Once that conversation is over, I hang up that conversation. I go into that particular client's file, which is in my client folder on my computer, go into their notes file, and I summarize the notes from my written paper into a digital format, because sometimes I write stuff down that doesn't necessarily need to be saved. It's just my thought at the time. So I translate the key points or the key notes that I want to pull off this paper, and I put it into my digital file and I save it with the date, so that I can be constantly referencing past notes and what comes up. Because then again, if I talk to someone 2 weeks from now, let's say I have a call with Alexis and I have an amazing Zoom, and I take all my notes and capture all the stuff, and then we're done. I'm like, all right, Alexis, this is what you need to work on. This is what I need to work on. I'll see you later, buddy. All right, take care. And I don't talk to Alexis again for 2 weeks. If I don't pull the stuff off my paper and put it on digital, this notebook will fill up over the next 2 weeks. So then what happens is if I don't put this in a digital file somewhere, then 2 weeks I'm preparing to get on Zoom again with Alexis, and I'm like, I gotta find that notebook. I gotta find those notes from the last call I had with her so I can remember where we were at. No, I just pull up her file, click, here's my notes. This is where we're at. The other thing that I do too is not only do I transfer my written notes into my digital form, but also I will usually sometimes give myself a summary of that appointment. So if I can give myself a short summary, I'll say, Alexis was in a great place today. She's working on this, this, and this. Energy's good. Her focus is good. I feel like she's got a lot of the right stuff going on. She's got some challenging seasons coming up later this summer with this, this, and this. But overall, she's good. Talk to her again in 2 weeks. Blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I'll also have, one of my clients is pregnant. So I'll put in the notes, so-and-so is 32 weeks pregnant. She's going to be having an appointment with her doctor next week. I'll put in my notes, ask her about the follow-up from the doctor. So I'll put that in my notes so that when I talk to her again in 2 weeks, as soon as I get on there, I'll be like, how did the doctor appointment go? And I can check in because I'm reminding myself of what's going on in the lives of my people. That's all digital. All right, that's just clients. Then we've got my content library. Listen, y'all, if you are a content creator, you've got to create a content library. Now, I did an entire broadcast about this, I think last week, maybe Tuesday. I can't remember what day that was. But if you go back to my lives, whatever platform you're on, I did a broadcast recently about how to create a digital library for your content. You've got to have a content library. You've got to, which takes me to number 5. Number 4 and number 5, I'm kind of just talking about. So number 4 is a planner, a method of organization. Number 5 is a physical digital filing system. You've got to have a filing system. Now, I use a hard drive for my extra laptop, and it's a portable hard drive. And the reason for that is because I had my little 7-inch Surface laptop, had a decent sized hard drive space on it, but that computer crashed, burned up and crashed on me 2 years in business, and I had no backup system in place. And I lost 2 years of client files that I could not recover. And I had active branding and business projects going on at the time. I had to redesign logos. I had to recreate graphics. I lost notes. Whew, man, oh man. Thankfully, whenever I create stuff, usually as soon as I create logos or graphics, I send it to people in an email. And then they respond back, or I send notes, there's things going back. So a lot of my work was still able to capture, but I had to go into my email and go back through emails and download files and move them. I'd spent a week trying to recover from that computer crash. So now what I do is I have a 1 terabyte hard drive. That's a portable hard drive. I attach it to the back of my laptop, and it plugs it into a USB. And at the end of every single week, every Friday, every week, at the end of my day on Friday, when I'm done working for the day, the last thing that I do after I clean my desk and organize myself for the weekend, I plug in my hard drive and I start a backup, and I back up my entire computer to my hard drive at the end of every Friday. I'll never lose a thing again. All right. You got to have some sort of a filing system to file the work. That doesn't just back up all my client files. It backs up all of my content. My entire content library is backed up every week. So I always have it. Got to, y'all. We're talking about tools of your trade, 10 fundamental tools that every business owner must have in place. We've talked about your phone, your laptop, your workspace, your planner, or your method of organization, physical digital filing system. That's your first 5. Number 6 is professional headshots. Yeah, I said that. Well, Justin, professional headshots are expensive. Are you a business owner or what? Get some headshots taken. You know what? The thing is, most people think they're super expensive. They're actually not that expensive. It's an expense. It's a business expense. It's a write-off. Get some headshots taken. One of the number one challenges that I have with people when I first take on new clients to build them their brand and help them with their business, and they want me to, people will hire me to build a website, and then I'll be like, send me what headshots you have, and they'll send me a whole bunch of selfies. No, you need some good headshots. Now, this is the thing. I'll tell you this. My first headshots were taken with a phone. All right. Phones nowadays, especially the newer ones, can take some pretty bomb photos, especially if you like the iPhone has portrait mode on it. You can take spectacular photos with the phone. If you sincerely do not have the funds to invest in a portrait photographer, then find someone in your family that can press the button on your phone and just take some photos. All right. Get some photos done. But that's the thing. If you want people to pay you, you want people to you want people to view you as a hireable professional. You need to act like one and you need to look like one. And so I think when people are like setting up business pages and they're trying to set up websites and the only imagery that you have in there is a selfie of yourself, what perspective are you creating for yourself? Right? Whereas if you're trying to get someone to invest in you, but then when they see what you're doing, they can tell that you did it yourself. And that's the thing. Let me just tackle this real quick, because it goes into your next one. Number 7 is a website. You need to have headshots and you need to have a website. Now I want to tackle some questions real quick before I go into this. So Alexis says, shouldn't headshots be done once a year? Maybe. I don't know if I would say necessarily once a year, because a year goes by in a blink. But I would say at least every couple years. So my latest headshots are 3 years old. I'm getting new headshots taken this summer because my website needs a refresh, right? And it's really about staying fresh and relevant for your audience, because again, guys, the audience of social media today is so fast paced, and you've got to be showing people that you're innovating and that you're adapting and that you're growing, because growth happens. I guarantee every one of us looks different than we did 3 years ago, right? Like Alexis, I saw your photos. Alexis is on a weight loss journey. Alexis, how many pounds have you lost? Like Alexis is on an amazing weight loss journey. She did a comparison side-by-side photo on Facebook recently. And I'm like, girl, rock that. Right? So in that case, Alexis, headshot, 50 pounds Alexis has lost so far. So with Alexis, new headshots are an absolute must for you, girl, because it doesn't just change the shape of your face and your body and everything, but it also changes something in you confidence-wise, right? You carry yourself a little differently. This one thing that happened to me is my weight has been fairly consistent over the years that I've been in business, but the more and more that I achieved different levels in my business, and the more I found success and more confident I became in myself, I carried myself differently, right? And it's recognizable. So you want to capture that. I mean, I feel like I look at pictures of myself when I first started and when I was really early on in my business. I'm like, man, I was just a little kid. Look at me. Look like a little kid. What the heck was I doing? I had no idea what I was doing, right? And I was in my 30s, wasn't that much younger than I am now. But man, have I grown up as an entrepreneur. Photo photography will capture that. So you've got to get some good photos. Now, one thing I would recommend is I got to think about how to say this. When you if you're looking for a photographer, one of the things that people will they'll go Google professional headshots, and you'll find photographers that specialize in headshots, but headshots are not necessarily what you want. Sometimes people that do headshot photography just do corporate photography. You want to Google branding and lifestyle photography. You want to basically find someone who specializes in helping you showcase and highlight your brand through photography. They'll capture your style, your personality, your attitude, your colors. You want to find a branding and a lifestyle photographer that will do that for you. It'll cost you, I don't know, the lady that's doing my photography later this summer, I think her fee was right around $500. Yeah, like action shots, right? Like in the moment shots. It's like it's gonna be $500 for what I want for the package that I got from her, which is gonna be more than what I need. But it's necessary. It's an investment. It's a write-off. You got to do it. You got to have headshots. And then going into your website, you've got to have a website, y'all. Also, this is another thing I want to tackle. Jamie, I haven't forgot about your question either. So I think naturally, guys, entrepreneurs are do-it-yourselfers. Y'all agree with that? I mean, are you a do-it-yourselfer? I am. I think entrepreneurs are naturally do-it-yourselfers. We're people that like to figure it out. We're the people that if I'm not sure how to do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. We're do-it-yourselfers. There's nothing, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with being a do-it-yourselfer, right? I think it's a trait of an entrepreneur. Where you need to watch out for that behavior and that trait in yourself, the problem comes is when you are a do-it-yourselfer and it shows. That's where the line is drawn. It's good. It's good to figure stuff out for yourself. However, when you are building a brand and you're building a business that's trying to attract paying clients, you've got to be very, very careful about the perspective that you create for yourself. All right. Listen, if you have, I see Kim saying, I hear a lot of people say you don't need a website. I cringe when I hear that. I believe in having a website. You absolutely need to have a website. And you got to be careful about trying to build it yourself. All right. Some people, I've seen some clients of mine, they're like, I can build my own website. Cool. Build it. Build that thing. And some people do a great job with it. They can figure their way out with it because they're technologically savvy. If you are not technologically savvy or it becomes a distraction for what you're supposed to be doing, Jamie, right? Because if it's not your gift, then let somebody else do that's their gift so you can focus on yours. Again, there's nothing wrong with being a do-it-yourselfer. The problem comes when you are a do-it-yourselfer and it shows. Now, let me tackle the I don't need a website conversation. Because people ask me this question, is it really, really necessary to have a website? This is the thing. I would tell you probably 4, maybe 5 years ago, having a website, I think, was more of a milestone in your business. Where if you reached a certain level, then eventually you would have a website. It was like a stamp that I've gotten this far in my business and now I have a website. I think that's kind of how it was looked at. Nowadays, it's a non-negotiable. It's an absolute non-negotiable. I mean, do you agree? If you are connecting with someone and you're considering hiring someone for a service or for a product and you're trying to learn more about them to see if it's going to be a legitimate investment, and you go to Google and you Google them or you go looking for their website and they don't have a website, where's your perspective of them? I mean, for me, it drops to the floor. Like if you got good content and you're connecting with me and I'm like, oh, that's cool. Let me learn more about you. And I go looking them up and they don't even have a website. From my feeling, if you do not have your own website, it's like, are you just trying this out? This must not be your business. You must not be doing this full time. You must not be really trying to make this your long-term career. It makes me question how long you've been doing it. It makes me question, do you even plan on staying around? Are you just trying this out? I don't want to be a test subject for you. I want to work with someone who I know is going to be here with me for the long haul. And, wow, Jamie says, I was talking to a friend of mine who is a professional photographer who doesn't have a website, only a Facebook page. I was a bit shocked, right? And that's the thing. I mean, and a lot of people do that. A lot of people just try to operate off their socials. But what happens if Facebook crashes today? I mean, if they go to Google and Google you, what are they going to find? It's all about perspective. Business is about perspective. People ask me all the time, Justin, what's the trick to start attracting high-paying clients? What's the trick to start generating consistent revenue, getting referral business, being able to make 6 figures a year consistently? What's the trick? The trick is the perspective that you establish for yourself, how people view you. If you are a fuel source to your audience and they view you as a first-class professional that can provide a first-class service, they'll treat you like one and pay you like one. But if they view you as someone who's just treating this like a hobby that shows up on social every once in a while, it's got some good information, but you can tell they're not really taking it seriously. The likelihood of me hiring you is scratch. 0. You got to have a website. Doesn't mean you got to go and spend a fortune on a website. Start somewhere, right? And when I build websites for people, those guys that need a website, I do website design. I build on all platforms, no matter what platform you want to be on. But I build websites, first class Rolls Royce websites. If you want all the stuff, or I got beginners. I'm working with another young guy that's a social influencer right now. He just needs a basic website just to give a place for his audience to come and connect with him and to sell some products. Simple. Like, you can start out simple. It doesn't have to be a Rolls Royce, but you've got to have a home for your audience to connect with you and to establish that perspective. Okay. Number 8 is primary content engine. We're talking about 10 fundamental tools of every business owner, 10 fundamental tools for your trade. Number 8 is a primary content engine. I'm going to go through these last few pretty quick. All right. Primary content engine is the primary social network, the primary place where you feed your business to the market. All right. If you imagine your business as a vehicle, right? Like, if your business was going to be a vehicle, what kind of vehicle would it be? I'm curious. Put it in the chat stream, will you? If you could describe your business as a vehicle, what type of vehicle would you be? Are you a sports car that's flashy and fast and going places ahead of everybody else? Are you a 4-wheel drive? Are you a truck or an off-road vehicle that's blazing new trails and you get off the beaten path and go places that nobody else has ever gone before? Are you a Toyota? Are you safe and reliable and best in class? Are you a minivan? Are you a school bus? Are you taking a whole bunch of people with you? Are you a boat? Life is better on the water. What kind of vehicle are you? You know what kind of vehicle I am? Oh, Tasha says she's a midnight blue sports car and absolutely fast. Stick shift. I love that, Tasha. You know what kind of vehicle I am? I should show this to you. Pull this thing up. Me and my son were having this conversation recently. This is a Mercedes, but it's a truck. I think is it called a G-Wagon? This thing is nuts. Where is it? Mercedes. It's got 6 wheels on it. What's this thing called? Mercedes G63. This thing is beastie. Here, can I show this to you? How do I say this thing? Come on, let me just save it. Save? Well, I don't know if it's gonna let me save it. Maybe I'll just show it to you. You see that thing? Look at that. It's a Mercedes 6-wheel truck. I'm all about class and comfort, but I'm also about blazing trails. I'm also about limited edition. There's only like 100 of these made in the world. I'm going to have one day. I want to go off-roading. I want to pave new trails of places that that people never gone to before, but I also want to take people with me, you know? But then I also want to be able to pull up to the VIP party and look the part, you know? So class with power, with comfort, with room and space, that's what I'm after. All right? Why are we talking about cars? Because your business is a vehicle. But if you think about the vehicle is not much. Listen to me now. The vehicle doesn't mean much without an engine. All right? That vehicle that I just showed you, that Mercedes truck, is a beautiful vehicle. But if that thing doesn't have an engine in it, it's just a beautiful vehicle that just sits there and looks good, but isn't really doing anything for me. Your business is a vehicle, but your business also needs an engine. All right? That's your content. That's what you put out there. That's what you That's what you put out in the marketplace to allow people to engage with you and connect with you and interact with you. Your content is your engine. And the more content you put out in the market, the more powerful your engine is. Right? It's the more horsepower. The more horsepower you have in your engine. I put out a lot of content, y'all. And the reason why I put out a lot of content, the reason I've consistently broadcasted day after day after day after day for nearly 6 years now, is because I understand that every single time I press that button, go live, I'm putting horsepower in my business. And I'm making my vehicle run. Some of y'all, I mean, there's a lot of people that'll go through all the work of having a website built and having headshots taken, having branding done, getting all their programs outlining, getting everything all done and run. But you never put any gas in the vehicle. You never fire up that engine. You've got a great looking vehicle that just sits there. Nobody cares because that vehicle's not going anywhere. So your primary content engine is the single social network that is your primary content engine. That's the primary place that you fuel you to the marketplace. Doesn't mean that you can't be on other social networks. It means that you got to be one is your primary. Now, when I started out and I first really figured this out for myself, it was Periscope. And at the time, I was on every other social network. I was posting everywhere, all over the place. And I realized that I was good at live streaming. Live streaming was my thing. And so I figured this out on Periscope. And I'm like, I'm stopping everything to go all in on Periscope. And I did. And I gave it a year on Periscope, just Periscope. And it exploded my business because I focused on that primary network to master it. And once I mastered Periscope and I mastered live streaming, then I started adding in Facebook. And then I started adding in Instagram. Now I'm adding in things like TikTok and stories and reels and all the things to add to those things. But adding those things does not come at the expense of the other things. It's an addition to while I still run my business. So I don't add other socials and other different types of content strategy until I've mastered my primary. And I don't do the extras at the cost of the primary. The primary is always the primary. That's my primary content engine. This is a fundamental business activity, a key income producing activity. You've got to put gas in your vehicle. You've got to put gas in your vehicle. All right. That's your primary content engine consistently. Y'all, we talked about consistency yesterday, so I'm not going to dive into it again, but consistently. That's number 8. Number 9 is a method of attraction. A method of attraction. You got to have a hook. A freemium, call it what you want. You know, people talk about, I need to create a freemium. I want you to get this. A freemium is not a thing. Okay. A freemium is not a thing. A freemium is a process. A freemium is not an ebook or a course or a webinar or a workshop or a challenge. Those all can be freemiums. But a freemium is not those things. A freemium is a process. A freemium is when you provide something for free in exchange for something else. And the idea and why it's called a freemium is you want to give them something for free to lead them to your premium. So freemium to premium is kind of the idea. Number 9, a method of attraction is something that you can give to people that will get them started with you. If you're not sure what you want your freemium to be, just ask yourself, what type of audience am I serving? And what is a great first step that I can give them, high value that I can give to them for free to get them started? That's the best kind of freemium that you can create, in my opinion, is when you can give your audience a simple first step that's highly valuable. Help them take the first step towards you. And the reason for that is because Newton's law says that objects in motion stay in motion. If you can get that potential audience of yours taking a step towards you, you can get them in motion, moving towards you. Once you get them moving, then you can keep them moving towards you. You got to have a method of attraction. You don't go fishing without bait. Same in a business. You got to have something that you can give to your audience that's going to give them the opportunity to connect to you. And usually, because we all are individuals, and the most powerful advantage that you have in your business is you, your mind, your ideas, your background, your expertise. If you can create a freemium, that's usually a powerful competitive advantage of that you'll have to leverage against your competitors, because y'all have competition. Y'all get that. Everyone has competition. I don't care who you are. Your audience has options, and if they're trying to figure out which option, that option or you, what makes them take a step towards you versus that person, oftentimes it's your method of attraction. Oftentimes it's your freemium. Oftentimes it's the first step that you have available to them. That's awesome. This person is really, really good and really sound at what they do, but this person is so good too, and they have a great first step for me. I'm comfortable with this. I want to take a step here, and then you can keep them in motion. You got to have a method of attraction. That's number 9. The last one I'm going to give you, number 10, and we're going to get you out of here, is just tools of your unique trade. All right? Tools of your individual unique trade. What do you need in your business to run your business? For example, with what I do, because I do so much graphic design work and I do so many, a lot of stuff on my computer, I have to have the Adobe programs. I've got Photoshop and Illustrator and all the Adobe programs. It's an expensive option on my computer, but it's necessary. I've got to have those programs to be able to do the things that I do. I've got to have a podcast mic. I've got to have a good webcam. And Jamie asked me earlier, do you have a webcam that I recommend? I use a Logitech. I think it's a C920. It's a USB plug-in. I bought it from Amazon. I think I maybe paid $60 for this webcam. It's a spectacular webcam. It's got a built-in mic. I use my podcast mic for my microphone, but I used a Logitech for a long time right off the mic. It's a great webcam. It's not overly expensive. It does the job. People like, Justin, do I need to go get a DSLR? Full? No, man. I'm like, if you're not creating, people ask me, Justin, do I need to go out and get a crazy camera? I'm like, you've never even done a live stream before. Go live on your freaking phone for a few minutes, before you go crazy. But a Logitech webcam that just plugs into USB is totally fine. But you need a webcam. You need, for me, I need a podcast mic because it makes a difference on the quality of what you present. I need lighting. I use umbrella lights, right? So I have umbrella lights. I have one on either side of me that come off to the side. I've tried every kind of lighting in the world to see which one I like best. I like umbrella lights. It's what I use. I don't like ring lights because I wear glasses and it flashes in my eyeballs. You gotta figure that out. DSLRs are awesome. They really are awesome, but DSLRs are technically cumbersome, right? So if you're going to use one of those, you need to be fairly techie and you need to get yourself set up right. Because with me, I've considered getting a DSLR. I would love it because with DSLRs, you can blur the background and you can really make a great high quality photo. But the thing is, when I'm streaming, I like looking at my screen. I like being able to see the comments and all the things. And I got this giant monitor. So with me, my webcam sits right up here on top of my computer. So I can easily stream, record, do all the things, see all the things. I've got phones open with my comments. I can see all the stuff. It's just a good setup. If I wanted to have a DSLR right now to do this the same look, I'd have to place my DSLR right here in front of me. And to get the blur background look, I'd have to move my monitor. I'd probably have to figure out a completely different. I'd probably have turned sideways and maybe stream this way if I was going to do it, because it's a big camera. And so whatever, you guys got to figure that out for yourself. But some of you guys need certain things for your business, no matter what your business is. There's tools that are unique to your trade. So whatever it is that you do, you make sure that you have the right tools for you. And just sit and ask yourself this morning, do I have everything that I need to do my job to the best of my ability? Do I have all the tools that I need? And if you don't, start making yourself a list. Start making yourself a list of the things that you need to get. I didn't buy all this stuff right off the bat. I worked up to it. I had goals of things, and the first goals were the small ones, small investments, incremental investments. I remember the day that I bought my laptop. My first laptop, brand new, ordered it from Amazon. That was the largest investment that I had ever made in a tool before. And it was liberating to be able to afford that. So you'll work up to those things, but you've got to make it. You've got to make it a goal. They're all write-offs. They're all business expenses. You got to have them. You got to have the tools of your trade, all right? Again, technology and tools are powerfully useful, but only when they are your servant and not your master. That's what I got for you today, guys. Hopefully that was good. Appreciate you. I know 56 minutes of your time is so incredibly valuable, so I appreciate you spending your time with me this morning, guys. I challenge you to go through this list and ask yourself, be super honest with yourself. Do I have what I need, and what are some of the areas that I need to level up and get the right tools in my tool belt? All right, guys, have a beautiful day. Be intentional with your time today. Be intentional with your talent. Jump right back in here with me tomorrow. I'm going to continue this conversation about, are you giving your business a chance to succeed? And I'm going to challenge your mindset tomorrow. All right, so be back here with me tomorrow. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you guys all around the web. All right, take care. God bless y'all. I'll see you later. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.